Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Sarah. I am a software developer at Tobot. You can find me on my socials here. I am also the newest maintainer of FactoryBot. Has anyone ever heard of it? The gem? Cool, nice. All right, I'm excited about just starting that. So I'm going to talk about antipatterns. They are the opposite of best practices, and they seem to work at first, but then often the large context is not considered. So right down the road, you just regret about some decisions you made in the past. So let's dive into the first one. I'm going to try to shorten this very lengthy subject. I really like to talk about tests, but I'm going to try to shorten that for 5 minutes. So let's say you have a class user, which implements the method save, and you find out that there is a bug with it. And you create this test to try to reproduce it. And you start out like just stating the obvious that you don't want it to return false when the email is valid, for instance. So you write that, expect user.save not to be false, which is fine at first, like you're just trying to fix the bug as soon as possible. Or else you can also write that as not, you expect it not to raise an error, but then how do you make sure that this method does not, someone else does not introduce a regression in some other way to this method in the future? So instead of writing the behavior or the result you don't want, how about you just write the behavior you do want? So in this case, we want user.save to be true, so just write what you want straight away. Of course, it's fine, as I said, if you're just trying to fix a bug, write as you can, and then you can come back and refactor it and write in the positive way. So next one, false positives. So you may find that you have a code that is not behaving as expected, and the test code is passing. So how to avoid that? You have to make sure that you see your test fail. Even if you're not doing TDD, if you're not writing the test first, you can like git stash your fix and then write the test, see it fail, and then you actually go back and implement your fix. All right, so that's the next one, mystery gas. In specific here, the usage of let. I know that a lot of people don't agree with that, but so mystery gas happen. Why is that this way? Mystery gas happens when the test reader is not able to see the cause and effect between the setup of the test or the fixture and the verification logic, because part of this is done outside of the test method. So I see this done so often with the usage of lets. So let's say, in this case here, of course, it's obvious because you have a very short test, but then what if your application just grows and you have like a bunch of high-level lets in the beginning of a file, and then you have a bunch of describes where you create other lets, and then you cannot just see which lets are relevant to your test case, which are not. You may also find out that the lets, if they are not lazy, they just create a bunch of database data that you don't really care for your specific test. So I really always default to writing the setup of my tests in line, and then just use lets when it's really needed. The use case is really explicit to me. So I try to follow arrange, act, assert, and have them all very explicit inside my test block. So moving on to the next one, test hooks. So this is a very explicit, simple to understand example. You may be tempted to add like Rails. You check if we are running in test mode or not, and then you just require logging if you are on the test mode. If you are not on test mode, that may help you at first, but then here we are actually writing code that behaves in the production mode and in test mode differently, so that may just lead us in a not ideal path. So you may use, in gems like clearance, you may use like this hook root path as user. And clearance is another gem, the authentication gem. So you may use this method there instead of adding test hooks to your production code. Okay, I'm over time, so I'll just jump into the takeaways. We want our test suite to be expressive, maintainable, isolated, and reliable. So avoiding testing anti-patterns is very, very essential. A few references for you. I use here the Testing Rails book, and there is the Thoughtbot blog, which has a whole section about testing, and the Upcase material as well about testing anti-patterns. Thank you very much.